Chris Keller with MuseGrid.com. Let's take a look at our new weather widget. Now it comes in a package, and let's take a look what's in there. So we have a README text file, and if we open this up, this tells you, this is one very important thing. Please ensure you load the 4 accompanying font icon files into the widget before testing. And what do we mean there? Well, we've got these weather icon fonts, and you will need to install these into the widget to make sure it works correctly. I'm showing this to you up front right now so that we don't get into support issues with the widgets not working, it's not showing the icons. So let's deal with that right now. Okay, that being said, inside this folder we have 4 icon font sets that you'll need to load, and I'll show you that in the widget in a moment. Once you've loaded this, this will mean that all of the different icons used in the weather widget can be loaded and selected correctly. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the widget itself. So it's a MuLib file, so we just double click on there and that would open up in Muse. And here we have a just a sample page for a campsite, for instance, and we want to put a weather widget on there for the client. They want to show the current weather of their location. So how would we go about this? Let's open up the library and we'll go and search for simple weather. Here we go, simple weather 1. We can see that we have a nice PNG preview of the widget, and then we'll just drag that onto the page. And currently I have the weather widget loading up for my actual postcode. But we can use a postcode, we can use an address, we can use longitude and latitude in here, whichever we require. Now, if you'll notice on the widget, we see this text saying latest weather, which you can change, and the temperature in Fahrenheit. We can change that to Celsius as well. But we have this letter here, the Z, and that looks like it may be broken. But like we said before, we need to make sure that we load those icon fonts for it to fully work. So let's go ahead and do that straight away. So in the file loader, and we're mentioning that this is required, let's go ahead and let's go to our desktop and go to our weather package and our icon fonts. The first one we want to load is the EOT file. Then we're going to load the WOFF file, and you'll see that the loader will only let you load in the correct file into that position there, and then the SVG file. Okay, so now the widget will render out, and there we go, we have a nice weather icon showing. Let's move that into place there. Let's go through the different settings. So first of all, we've got our location. Now we can change that, as we said, to a zip or an address or longitude and latitude. We can change the temperature unit to Celsius. We can change the text that shows up here to be either some info text that we type in here, or the location of the city, or we can show the region. Okay, so that we've got those different, and you can see that the text is grayed out when we choose any of those other 2 settings. So I'm going to leave it on info text. Then we have our introductory text. What can we do there? Well, we can change the color of that. Let's put that in white. And the temperature color, let's put that in white as well. And the icon, and we can select that to white. Then we have our border around the edges here, so let's change that to white as well. And we can change the radius, so let's change that radius to 0. And now we have a nice squared icon. Now because this is a Muse, Muse rectangle here that it's placing in, we can also use Muse's built-in tools for the background fill. So I'm going to create a gradient, and I'm just going to make it, I'm going to give it let's say 50% there, and that's the bottom. Let's make that 50%. Let's make this 10%, so that's the top there. So now we've got this nice gradiated background to it. Actually, I'm going to change the radius back to 4. Now what I'll also want to do is, because we're using a background fill, we want to make sure that the radius on the rectangle is 4 as well, so that they both match. Let's go ahead and preview this. So now we have a nice page here with our weather widget nicely placed on here. Let's take a look at changing the location. I'm also going to just set these to be stretched to browser width. Nothing to do with the widget, just a visual. There we go. Let's take a look at that now. There we go, that's better. So yeah, we've got our nice weather widget there. Let's go ahead and change the location. So here I've got the location, and I think this is the Sequoia National Park. So we'll just put in, so we're going from a zip code, from a UK postal code to a zip code. And we can see now that we are loading up a different weather. So it's really simple, really easy to use widget. We are planning to add some features in the future, but for now this is what the simple weather widget does, and we hope you enjoy using it, and we look forward to your feedback. Thanks for watching.